Welcome to the December 16th, 2021 meeting of the Southampton Town Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held via video conferencing pursuant to Chapter 417 of the laws of 2021. And until further notice, all of the board's meetings will be held remotely. So we ask the public to continually check the town's website for updates and new information. There are also options on the website for public comments and to pre-register to speak on public hearings. So please consider that for all future meetings. If you wish to view tonight's live meeting only, please not join the Zoom meeting and instead go to the town's website. If the live stream cannot be seen on the town portal, please go to the YouTube website and select the CTV Southampton channel. If you wish to be heard during a meeting but did not pre-register, please go to the town's meeting portal, choose the meeting group from the drop-down on the left, and you will find the information required to join the Zoom meeting. With that, I'd ask you that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Also, Anthony, thank you for joining us as well. Greatly appreciate having you.
See everybody.
We will be starting this meeting with the public hearings. We have applicants and members of the public standing by via Zoom webinar, which is being moderated by CTV. Charles Certain will mute the speakers until it is their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find that you are having difficulties accessing the hearings, please visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Also, there are a few public hearings that will not be heard tonight, meaning they'll be adjourned. So please listen to hear when they will be rescheduled for. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking, other than attorneys, will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. Board members who must recuse themselves from any application will state so on the record and will be removed from the meeting until the end of the hearing. Unless otherwise stated at the end of each hearing, all of these applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until January 7th, 2022. Those comments can be addressed to the board secretary, Candace, and sent via email, mail, and/or dropped off at town hall. I would ask that we, for a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Minutes are approved, and now we are going to be going on to adjournments.
Okay, we've got a couple of changes to tonight's agenda. First up, item number 4, Atlantic Golf Club, Inc., for property located at 1040 Scuttle Hole Road in Bridgehampton, tax map 949-1, lot 7.1. This is going to be a re-add for Jan 20th, 2022. Okay, item number 7, PJT Realty Management LLC, property located at 21 Spring Lane in Noyak, tax map 900-6-2, lot 43.2. We're going to adjourn that to our January 20th meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, items number 8, 9, and 10, Production Holdings LLC and Tyrone Tertunian, property at 57 and 61 Station Road, tax map 900-355-2, 18.6 and 18.7, along with Tyrone Tertunian 57 Station Road in West Hampton, tax map 900-355-2, lot 18.6, and Production Holding LLC for property at 61 Station Road, West Hampton, tax map 900-355-2, 18.7. Move to adjourn those all to our February 3rd meeting, February 3rd, 2022 meeting.
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Item 11, 2/10 LLC, property at 2 Teepee Street, Hampton Bays, tax map 900-231, lot 27.1. Move to adjourn to our February 17th, 2022 meeting.
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, moving on to the decision calendar. Decision for 95 Inlet Road West LLC, tax map 900-176-1, lot 1, and 85 East White LLC, tax map 900-233-2, lot 1. Adjourn those decisions to our February 6th, 2022 meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Vincent and Maria Bruno, tax map 900-294-1, lot 32. Move to reopen to accept written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Reopen.
Reopen. Okay. Now move to close the matter with a decision on for tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. For Michael and Meg Calamita, property at 900, tax map 900-268-4, lot 39. Move to reopen for written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Reopen.
Okay. Move to close with a written decision tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. For the following application, we're going to move to the decision all to January 6, 2022. Pamela J. Kell, tax map 900-114-2, lot 42. Kenneth Seif and Nicole Cool-Seif, 972, lot 36. Gregory Liffin, 900-374-2, lot 8. Edward Burke Jr. and Patricia Burke, tax map 900-5-2, lot 17. LPD 4 LLC, 900-263-3, lot 33.1. NYCELEX Real Estate Holdings Development Corp., 900-349-2, lot 24. And Scott Slater, 900-24-1, lot 49, all moved for a decision on a January 6th.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, is that?
That's it.
Moving on, starting up the meeting here. Application number 1, Wayne Fiatland, property located at 38 Far Pond Road in Shinnecock Hills, tax map 900-272-1, lot 34.2. Applicant requests relief in the following of the town code for 1, a proposed front porch of 330-11, residence district's table of dimensional regulations, a front yard setback of 22.2 feet, Far Pond Road, and 15.4 feet, Bayberry Cove Lane. 2, for proposed second-story addition with a finished attic and to raise dwelling to FEMA compliance, 330-84 pyramid height for a pyramid encroachment of 1,317 cubic feet, 450 cubic feet on the west side, 867 on the east side of the property. 2, 330-11, the residence district's table of dimensional regulations for a 3-story house where 2 stories is permitted. 330-11 for a total lot coverage of 21.3%, where a maximum of 20% is allowed. And 3, relief from 330-103 corner clearance for a portion of the proposed addition to be erected within 50 feet of the intersection of Far Pond Road and Bayberry Cove Lane, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good evening. Wayne, you are muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So unless you're an attorney, I just have to swear you in.
I'm not an attorney.
Okay, so if you can just raise your right hand and state your name and address for the record, please.
Wayne Fiatland, 11 Alita Place, Ramsey, New Jersey, 07446.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. If you can tell us about the application.
Okay. The house is a 1-story bungalow that we purchased in 2021, 2020, and it's a 2-bedroom on a small corner lot. We wanted to raise the house above the flood stage, and add a second floor to the house. And with that, we wanted to add a rear porch and a rear deck and a front porch as well. Just, basically for the architectural aesthetics and to have an impact on the neighborhood architecturally.
Okay.
And with that, the lot is non-conforming. Currently, it has a 28-foot setback in the front, and I think about a 28-foot setback in the rear as well, which is non-conforming. But, that's why I'm here for the variance, is to be able to add on that second floor deck and the front porch.
Okay. And I believe you have submitted wetlands permit, and we have correspondence from Landmarks and Historic Preservation Board and an administrative wetlands permit. So all of those things have already been obtained according to our
Yes.
file. Okay.
Correct. They've all been approved.
Okay. All right. So the one question I had, and it may have been just something that was missed, is I have a survey of the existing house. Was there also a survey submitted for the proposed renovated residence?
Yes, there was.
Okay. Somehow it didn't make it into my file. Maybe the other
Okay.
board members.
Yeah,
have
I
it.
did not see
I
that.
didn't either.
Yeah. Okay.
So we don't have that.
we because normally what I do is I take a look at it, and then particularly I cross-check the variance relief to make sure it's on the survey. Maybe we could put the survey up on the screen, the one that has the renovation on it. That would help. Candace, could you possibly do that?
No, actually I can't. That survey is not scanned into the computer system. Let me just see.
Okay.
Let me pull the file. If
Sure.
if it's small enough, I might be able to do it. Just give me a minute.
Okay, no problem. All right. In the meantime, it sounds to me like, in terms of this application, what you're trying to do is we encourage property owners in flood zones to become FEMA compliant. Okay, it's actually very important to the town for property owners to do this. It benefits the property owner, but it also benefits the town itself because when we have instances of flooding, it's not a good thing for large areas of town to experience flooding at the same time. And besides, we have other concerns, in particular low-lying areas of the town. So in any case, so I'm always encouraging people to, when they are doing something like this, doing a renovation, to become FEMA compliant. And sometimes we want people to be above whatever the FEMA figures are. So, but I believe the amount of Pyramid relief that's being requested here is pretty modest. And as is the lot coverage relief, is relatively modest. So, I will see if there are any neighbors that have concerns about this application, but from my perspective, it appears to be really pretty minor variance relief under the circumstances. Have you heard from any of the neighbors? Do you know?
Well, no, I have not, but I have spoke to 4 of the 5 neighbors before I sent the application to them, and they were all excited and looking forward to the addition. And what I did in the past 2 months is I did raise the house to elevation 11, for the FEMA. So that's all been done under a separate permit, and it's all been taken care of.
Okay.
We
Good.
appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We also did have some comments from the building department, so I may as well read those into the record. I'm not sure whether you've seen them already, but here's what we got. And this is from Marjorie Riley, building inspector. Here are the comments. Survey shall be submitted for the proposed addition to show setbacks to dwelling. That's number 1. Number 2, setbacks to detached shed in order to confirm compliance with variance number 6020. 3, indicate location of limit of moderate wave action line. And 4, total lot coverage. And 5, all other relevant information. 2, although not part of this application, any fence on the right of way shall be removed, and any fence on the corner clearance shall conform with 330-103. So it looks like, I'm not sure whether she was looking at the survey that I haven't seen. I'm not sure, but in any case, regardless, probably would be a good idea to reach out to Marjorie Riley in the building department about the survey, just to make sure that the building department is satisfied.
Yeah, I definitely will. I did actually speak with her a while ago, but I never saw these items that you just read off.
Yep, okay.
I have the survey drawing on my building permit set as well as the pyramid drawing set too. So.
Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to see if Candace is able to get the survey up. In the meantime,
Yeah,
any questions from members of the board?
I have a comment. I was at the location today, and I saw it sitting up there on the
cribbing.
pilings or on the boxes or whatever they are. I guess the home movers have put it in place. I will tell you though, I think that this is a lot of relief for that particular location. I think that area, that neighborhood is predominantly smaller, single-story cottage type or seaside community homes, and I've got to tell you, I think that your house is in a very, very visible location on a small lot, and I think you really pushed all of the boundaries. You're asking for relief, on pretty much on all yards, total lot coverage, pyramid, and the corner visibility for people who are coming by and driving. And I think it's a lot of relief, and I think the house is going to stick out like a sore thumb in that community. So that's my feeling about it. Although the numbers don't necessarily seem to be that significant, I think it's going to have an impact on the community. If your neighbors don't feel that, then I suppose that's a sign that maybe they're okay to see this done. But it just struck me as an awful lot of relief for this small lot.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that. The one thing about this neighborhood is my house is one of the three or four remaining bungalows, so to say. Every other house has been renovated, and they all are 2- and 3-story homes, all with similar lots. Even like a recent renovation of 28 Far Pond, which is only 4 houses up, was a small house, and again built, with minimal setback in the front, rear, and side yards. But the neighborhood, speaking with the neighbors, everybody's excited to see improvements, and it's not very obtrusive in the scheme of things.
Yeah, and you do have 2 front yards because of the street there, so I understand that is somewhat limiting as well. But I was expressing my opinion on this. That's all I wanted to do, was go on record as expressing my opinion on it. But let's proceed.
Hi, Christopher Fieltland here, another owner partnership with my father.
Okay,
I just wanted to.
Christopher, hold on. I have to swear you in before you tell us what you want to tell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can state your name and address for the record, please.
Christopher Fieltland, 38 Far Pond, Southampton.
And just the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now you can tell us your comments.
All right. No, just from the last statement, I just wanted to make it clear that currently the house is lifted significantly higher than where it will be before the renovation. The concrete for the footings is just curing, and the house will be dropped down onto those fittings. So right now it appears that it's, very high in the air, but that won't be the case before the addition.
I understood that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in progress.
Yeah.
And the other thing, that the other 3 existing homes, 1-story homes, that they are all just summer bungalows that are basically like uninsulated and not winterized.
And I just want to reiterate what I said before, which is I believe that this is modest relief. I appreciate what Mike is saying.
Yeah.
But we routinely grant really what is really quite modest relief for this, in other applications compared to what we have here. So, I just, that's how I see it. If you were asking for a huge amount of relief, that would be something that I would be concerned about, but I don't see that as being the case here. So
I agree with you, Adam. Part of my question was on the 3-story part. Maybe it's Katie, because they have an existing house that they're lifting, and then I'm just unclear as to where they're making the interpretation of 3 stories. I was confused on that.
I can clear that up. Basically, the property doesn't have a garage. We don't want to add a garage. We'll never have a garage. We have a small shed, existing shed. So just purely for storage of, outdoor furniture and everything that you would normally keep in a basement or a garage, I wanted to keep up an unfinished attic. But what I did was I extended the staircase from the first to the second, and then from the second to the third, just to make it easier to get furniture and items in and out of the attic instead of the pull down staircase that you can barely fit anything through.
The stairs alone won't make it 3 stories according to the building code. So I'm just trying to understand where that's coming from. Stairs alone.
Yeah, that was Miss Riley's addition. That was her comment. I told her it's an unfinished attic, and it was just a staircase that threw her off and said it was a 3rd floor. But it's not going to be occupied. It was just purely for storage, and I put windows up there just for the natural lighting.
yeah,
Maybe it's the ceiling height. What's the ceiling height?
I think the ceiling height is 7'6".
I mean, the advertisement says finished attic. So I was just trying to follow that, because stairs alone or attics, regardless of height,
Yeah, I had the same question. What made it 3-story? Because we typically don't, yeah.
Yeah, she purely said because of the staircase, because it is, even on my drawings, it's called out as an unfinished attic with a 7'6" height.
yeah. So the lower level is going to be a level for storage only, not for living space. That's
The attic, yes,
Attic.
the attic. I'm sorry.
just for storage.
Okay.
But because of we're in the FEMA, I have to keep the house will be up on piers, and I have to have breakaway panels. So I figure I won't have any storage below the house. And
I mean, you could store furniture and stuff down there. That's permitted. That's why I'm struggling.
Yeah,
with that.
I just envision keeping everything in the attic away from the weather and the bugs and because it's really not going to be weather tight down below.
I mean, Katie, maybe we can get something from Margaret. It's not really resonating. I'm not saying it's not the way you're explaining it, but it's different than, it's been explained to me for the past 12 years.
I haven't heard that before either. Yeah.
Yep, I'll find out.
Some clarity.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
The relief, I don't think is a lot. I just want some clarity on the 3rd story, because we're not trying to, have a lot of 3-story.
Yeah, I think Miss Riley's comments might not have been accurate. She basically just said it was a 3rd story because of the staircase. And, I'm not that familiar with the building, the local building code. So I just accepted that as fact.
Yeah. And there was a change in the code as to what constitutes a 3-story versus a 2-story. That happened several years ago. So maybe this has to do with that. But in any case, it needs to be, cleared up.
Yeah,
I'm okay as long as there are only 2 functional stories.
Right.
I agree with that.
So I see it. Yeah.
And that's the condition. That's what's on the drawings for the permits. And the house falls within the height restrictions as well out there.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Is there anyone from the public who is waiting to be heard in connection with the application? And I'm sorry, Wayne, if I'm mispronouncing your last name. Flatland.
It's Fieldland. That was close.
Yeah, Fieldland. Sorry about that. For property located at 38 Far Pond Road in Shinnecock Hills. If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
Adam, I have no hands.
No hands. Okay, if not,
Adam,
I have a question now.
Adam, go ahead, Katie.
Go, no, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna let Adam
Susan?
know, I did find a site plan,
Okay.
a small site plan that was on, it looks like his floor plan, so I do have that. I would still suggest that he submit maybe a full-size survey, but
Yeah.
I can show you what I have.
Very hard to read. It's very small.
yeah,
It is very small, it's in the corner.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can-
I just want to make sure all the measurements are on it. So, which Candace, I know you,
It's like down in that corner. Yeah, it's really hard to
there we
read.
go. There we go with measurements. Okay,
So I was able to get a piece of it, so if you want to take a look at that.
sure. Okay, well, that helps.
I don't-
Yeah, I'd prefer to see a full set, you know,
Yeah.
a plan that's easily readable.
Would that need to be signed by a surveyor?
Yes, especially because it has the measurements on it.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
So we need a site plan or full survey of the property, right? We need some clarity on third floor. And who's gonna get that? And are we gonna seek that from the building department, or is Mr. Fidelman going to do that?
No, I can follow up on the story.
Okay, so some clarity on that.
Yep.
And the way we're scheduling these the cases at the moment is if we can receive all the materials by January 7th, the written submissions. We will then have a decision for you on January 20th. However, if we don't receive them all by January 7th, then it could be the following meeting, which would be February, the first meeting in February, whatever date that is, February 11th. No,
February 3rd.
February 3rd, yeah. Okay, so do you think you can get us those documents by January 7th?
I could definitely get that. The survey, really, it's just a survey drawing, right? Because Katie's going to confirm the third story
Okay,
issue. So all I'll get you is the signed and sealed survey
Good.
drawing.
good. So if we,
With all of the revisions on it that the building department needs on
Yes.
the survey of the site plan, yep.
and do you need a copy of those revisions? Because you can get it from Candace tomorrow in the office. You can contact her.
I'll contact her and get that list that Kate,
Okay, good.
that Ms. Riley had.
Okay, good. So if you're able to deliver what you need to written submissions by January 7th, we'll have a decision for you on January 20th.
Okay, great.
Okay. So we're going to close this except for written submissions. Is that right? Do we
Yes.
agree? Okay.
Yeah, written submissions January 7th, for decision January 20th. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess, Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa. Brian, you're muted. I can see it.
I was
Oh,
trying to
like
keep the
this,
background noise down. Aye.
Okay,
Great.
chair votes aye. Thank you both for your testimony tonight, and have a great holiday.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great holiday as well, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, I two on the agenda, LES Investments 2 LLC, property located at 7 Cedar Lane in Remsenburg, tax map 900-366-1, lot 16.3. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code: 330-83 yards and 330-76D. Placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts for a roofed outdoor shower located in the required minimum side yard for the principal building at a setback of 18.7 feet where 20 feet is required, and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Okay, Cornelius, used on this matter.
Yep. Okay. Robert, we can see you, but we can't hear you. Yep. You're still muted.
There, are we good?
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
Good
So,
evening.
good evening, Robert Kelly for the applicant. This is an application for an outdoor shower that, the applicant bought the house in May or June of this year. The prior owner had built this outdoor shower. And I will share my screen in a moment. That's the outdoor shower. Can you see that?
No.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. I thought I did that right, but all right.
It's a
Here we go,
small
hold on.
white.
There
we
we
go.
go. See that?
Coming up now.
Okay, so that's
There
the
you go.
outdoor shower. Technically it's roofed because anything is roofed in a building department's interpretation of the code there. But it's just a trellis, like, lattice, whatever you want to call it, roof. This outdoor shower is, I've shown on the survey, 7.5 by 6.8 feet. Only 1.3 feet is inside the 20-foot setback if you look at this survey here. So just a smidge into the corner. I calculated it's about 2 square feet that is inside the 20 feet. It is very well screened as shown in the photos. The aerial would show you that as well. If you look at on the GIS, this is the 2021 aerial, and these are evergreens between us and the neighbor. The neighbor has a driveway, garage, and pool house on the side facing us, so it's not near anybody's windows or anything else where they'd be looking out, unless they had the garage doors open, I guess. So it is a very minor variance. It's been there, it's on a brick patio. We don't want to have to move the patio, the water, the shower. It's been there for a long time without bothering anybody. I would point out that you could put a 120-foot shed, I believe it is, within 10 feet of the line. So the code does allow for things as of right much closer. This is just almost a minimal variance, or de minimis, whatever we would call it. It would be expensive to move. I only got it today, so I didn't have a chance to submit it. But here's a letter from, we asked a builder what he would charge us to move it, and he told us $20,000. I don't know that I'd pay a builder that over that, but so I don't think it has any impact on the neighborhood, and I would hope that the board would agree.
It's a really nice
I
outdoor
agree.
shower.
Yeah,
It is
Yeah.
nice, isn't it? I wish I had one like that myself. And,
no, I'm gonna save the picture.
It's one of the nicest ones I've seen. I don't have an issue with it. Just
I don't need that.
yeah.
No, it is very, very minor. You're right. But we'll see if any neighbors do, but.
Yep.
Okay.
I did not hear from any neighbors since we filed this application and since the posting. There was the neighbor on that side, by the way, there was some back and forth before the closing because there was a boundary line agreement done because of some fences that were not right on the line. And they knew that this application was coming, but, and I did alert, I think I emailed them as well way back when we filed it because of those conversations, but I've heard nothing since.
Okay. Any other questions from members of the board? Is there anyone from the public who's waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of LES Investments 2 LLC? This is for property located at 7 Cedar Lane in Remsenburg. If you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand. Charlie?
Nope.
No hands. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. If not, Helen, it is yours.
Yes, I visited the property and I have no problem with the shower. And unless we have any written submissions that are necessary, the meeting will be closed with a decision on January 20th.
Okay. And we'll do
Second.
1-7 for written submissions. if
In
any.
case, yes, that's right, on the 7th.
Yes. Okay. Very good. I'm sorry. Who was the second?
Pardon me?
Second.
Oh,
Michael.
Mike was the second. Okay.
Yeah, we're still looking at the shower. We can't see each other yet.
That's all right. Okay. Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa,
Aye.
Ms. Curran,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Thank you so much, Gus. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
you-
Enjoy the holidays,
Can
everyone.
you just stop sharing your screen, Gus?
I will. I'm sorry. Let me get out of that.
No,
I'll
you
just
like
get
the
out of Zoom.
show. We all like the show.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, next up, item number 3 on the agenda, Ross Weinstein and Ariel G. Ball, property at 31 New Lane in Shinnecock Hill, tax 900-211-2, lot 15. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code for a proposed 2-story dwelling on a non-conforming lot 330-11, residence districts table of dimensional regulations for a proposed front yard setback, a front side setback of 42 feet, where 80 feet is required, and 330-84 for a proposed pyramid height encroachment of 359.3 cubic feet, 276.2 cubic feet on the west side, and 83.3 feet on the east side of the property, and any relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Good evening. I wasn't sure who's making the presentation. I can swear you both in if you'd like, or whoever wants to do the presentation.
I'll be doing the screen sharing, but my dad will do all the talking.
Okay, no problem. All right, so Miguel, I guess I'm swearing you in. If you can just
Yes.
state your name and address for the record, please.
Miguel Weinstein, architect, 41 Yukon Drive, Woodbury, New York, 11797.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Thank you. You can tell us about the application.
Yes, I'm representing Rose Weinstein and Ariel Ball, the owners of the property at 31 New Lane. I'm happy to be working on this project, particularly because Rose is my son and Ariel is my daughter-in-law. We are requesting the relief from the town code dimensional regulations for a front setback of 42 feet where 80 feet is required, and the proposed pyramid height encroachment on 359.3 cubic feet, and any other relief needed. The property is a non-conforming lot in an existing, and is existing since October of 1956. I understand that Rose and Ariel have been in contact with some of the neighbors regarding the plans for the construction of their new home, and it seemed that most of them, they were happy about it. For the benefit of some neighbors that may be on this call, I would like to explain where we are requesting this relief. This lot and most of the adjacent lots are in non-conforming to the zoning code. In 1999, the town adopted a new zoning district map and zoned this area between Tuckahoe Lane and Tuckahoe Road to an R60 zone. With this new zoning designation, all these lots now are required to have a 60,000 square foot of area and 150 foot wide minimum among some of the requirements. Most of the lots on New Lane are much smaller than that, and it's almost impossible to build a new home or make an addition to an existing home without coming to the zoning board requesting a relief from the town code. As an example, the neighbor property directly to the east of our property at 35 New Lane was granted a variance in 2013, and the relief that they got included a 40 front setback where 80 feet is required, the rear yard lot of 26% coverage instead of 20% that is maximum, and also a 6 foot rear setback instead of a 10 foot that is required. We are requesting a smaller relief to what was granted to build for the house at 35 New Lane in 2013. Together, Rose and Ariel and myself have designed a home with modest appearance that fits the character and the scale of the neighborhood. The relief will not produce any undesirable change and in the character of the neighborhood, and it will not have any adverse effect on the physical environmental conditions of the area. The difficulty is in compliance with the code was created by the town rezoning that didn't take in account for a legal buildable lot existing since 1956. Rose and Ariel are extremely excited to be part of the Art Village community And we are asking the board to grant the necessary relief to allow for a reasonable use of this land. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, the pyramid relief is minimal. And so the only relief of any, significance of any, at all is front yard setback. Front side yard setback of 80 feet to 42 feet. So, and my guess is that what you're trying to do is you're trying to fit everything you can onto the lot, and you can't quite meet the setbacks with the size of the lot and whatever limitations there might be on it. So anyway, so it doesn't sound like you've heard any of the neighbors are opposed.
No, it seemed that Rosa and Ariel actually met some of the neighbors. They invited them to a party a few months ago, and they met all the neighbors in their house, and it doesn't seem that it was any opposition to it. And the house, as I mentioned before, right next to this property on the east side, it was granted a variance with only 40 feet setback in 2013. We are asking for a 42 setback, so we are even going a little back than the neighbor on the right side of this property.
Okay. All right. Any other questions of members of the board or Anthony or Katie?
I have a question, and that is, I'm a little confused. I see on the application, the area variance, it says a variance of 330 variance to 330.11. And underneath that, it has volume penetrating the pyramid east side 664, then the west side 2109, and then just a typo underneath that with volume total of 27,773.1 cubic feet.
Sorry, yeah, there was a mistake on the calculation, and Major Israeli, the building inspector, made a correction, and that's why she corrected the variance with only 359.3 cubic feet in total.
Okay, all right. So this was your initial application,
and was correct
with a typo in it, that and now you were corrected to the 300.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification, because that's what we'll be deciding on. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? What is volume penetrating pyramid?
Rose, if you please show the A2 sheet on the screen. I don't know what happened. Okay.
There we go. Back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Susan, as you see the line that goes from the pyramid on the east side yard across, you see that it's encroaching some little pieces of the attic.
Right, that I get what the pyramid relief is, but what's volume, pyramid volume encroachment?
Just in the pyramid low encroachment.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
actually
I
referred to that and sometimes, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But you're asking for the 300 plus.
Correct.
pyramid relief.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, which is minimal pyramid relief.
Minimal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions from members of the board? Is there anyone from the public who's waiting to be heard on Zoom in connection with the application of Weinstein and Ball? This is for property located at 31 New Lane in Shinnecock Hills. If you are waiting to be heard on Zoom, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
No hands.
No hands.
Okay.
Did you
Margie
see the
Riley did
comment?
have some comments, Adam.
Oh, okay. Let's go to the comments. We did have a comment, and thank you, Susan, for reminding me. A comment from Marjorie Riley, building inspector. The comment was, site plan shall be revised to indicate the correct rear yard coverage, utilizing the 3/10 method, and the total lot coverage shall be corrected to only include roof structures.
Yes, it was corrected and I sent it to Mary and they should have it.
Okay, as long as it was taken care of.
Yeah, it should be on file already.
Okay, excellent. Okay, all right. Keith had been the lead on this application. Has it been assigned to somebody else, or do we want to ask someone else to take the lead on it?
Keith can keep it.
Okay, Keith will keep the lead. Okay. Well, Keith isn't here, so then I will make a motion that we close the application this evening, except for written submissions. The deadline for written submissions on this and all applications tonight is January 7th, and we will have a decision ready on January 20th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Can
so
I
much.
just ask one other question? I'm sorry.
That's
Yes.
good.
When I looked at the aerial view, there looked like there was a dispute on what the property line was. It seemed to overlap on the other property. Did anybody else
yes.
look at the aerial view?
That's,
Yeah, if printed from GIS, Susan, the lines
Yeah.
don't line up with the tax map lines because they're overlaid. So
Okay.
unfortunately,
Okay.
you're
Because I
gonna
thought
see
I
that
saw it in another place
happen.
as well, but okay. So, but that's not an issue,
No,
correct?
it's not. No.
Okay, good.
All right, so I believe we have a motion and a second.
Second,
Okay, thank you. Mr. Daly,
aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mrs. DeSenza.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you both. Enjoy
Thank
the
you very
holiday.
much. Thank
And,
you.
All right, and appreciate your testimony. Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5 on the agenda, application from Barbara and Daniel Montero, property at 33 Windermere Drive in Noyak, tax map 900-9-2, lot 35. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the town code for a proposed second-story addition on the south side of the property, 330-84D for pyramid encroachment of 125.7 cubic feet, and any other relief necessary.
the board has jurisdiction.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Unless you're an attorney, I just have to swear you in.
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay, if you can just state your name and address.
Alexei Kludov, 71 Island View Drive West, Sag Harbor, New York, 11963.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can now tell us about the application.
Well, we thought that it's a minimal relief we are asking for because comparing to the other houses in the neighborhood, we're asking only for 125.7 cubic feet of pyramid encroachment. And if you drive around, it's a lot of houses. They've been built in 60s when I believe there was no pyramid law existed before. So when I did the FOIL search, nothing came back as there were no variances granted for the neighbors' houses, but you can see that there is the pyramid encroachment. If you stand right on the property lines, it's the character of the neighborhood. You cannot build two-story houses on small lots like in Bay Point.
Yeah, yeah. And Bay Point, we have a whole, series of different properties where we've had to grant far
so
more
I would-
significant pyramid relief than this.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say, that it would be common and customary. Or let's say the one I found was the 43 Harbor Drive, which was granted 2,600 cubic feet of relief.
Okay. So minimal pyramid relief. I mean, absolutely minimal. So, we'll see if any of the
Absolutely, yes.
neighbors are here and have any
Well,
concerns.
wait.
I presume you haven't heard from them.
Owners, they spoke with the neighbors, and none of them objected that. One of the neighbors is planning on knocking the house down and rebuild it completely. If you drive around it, the whole neighborhood is being renovated, and I don't think it's gonna be any impact on the character of the neighborhood.
Okay, well, I agree. I mean, with that, with this member, pyramid relief, I can't possibly see how it could impact the neighbor. But in any case.
I agree. 125 cubic feet is less than a quart of firewood.
It's nothing, really next to nothing.
And we,
Okay.
we tried to lower the roof enough so we don't have to ask for more.
Okay. All right. Any other questions of members of the board or Katie or Anthony? Is there anyone from the public who is waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of Barbara and Daniel Montero? This is for property located at 33 Windermere Road in Bay Point. If this,
No
if you're waiting,
hands.
no hands, okay. So I was just gonna say, if you're waiting to be heard, this would be the time to let us know by raising your hand, but there aren't any. Okay, so with that, Mike, it is yours.
I think it might be mine, actually.
Oh, really?
I think, yeah. I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
Cornelius.
My copy says Mike. Okay,
Mike.
Cornelius, it's yours.
I move to close the application, leaving open for written submissions only until January 7th with a decision on January 20th, 2022.
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
I,
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you for being here. Have a great holiday.
Okay, item number 6, 81 Roseway LLC, property at 81 Roseway, Bridgehampton, tax map 900, 134-2, lot 14.8, applicant requests for relief. Oh, this is a holdover. I don't need to read it all. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So are we open then?
Yep.
Okay, Cornelius Kelly, I recuse myself on this application.
Good evening, members of the board. Brian Locascio with the Adam Miller Group, attorney for the applicant. I was before you last month, and there was concerns raised by a few members of the board with respect to the amount of relief from the side and rear yard. So we went back to the architect and the surveyor, and I was able to slightly reduce the relief. I just received a survey about a couple hours ago, so I appreciate you have not seen it, but I can go ahead and share it and show you the modifications I was able to make.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see the survey, correct?
not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, all right, hold on.
There we go.
You see it?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so as previously submitted, the tennis court was proposed at 20.5 feet from the side yard and 21.7 feet from the rear yard. We were able to increase that to 23.5 feet from the side yard and 22.4 feet from the rear yard. Part of the constraint in not being able to move it any further is we have a drywall located just on this would be south side of the tennis court, and to keep the separation for that to function, that was about as far as we can relocate the tennis court. As submitted to the record and stated last month, we did get a letter from the neighbor to the rear, and they had no support provided that we maintained the existing mature hedging along the property line. And it's also worth noting that this is essentially butting up to a tennis court on the adjoining property. So we have just as much of an interest as they do in keeping that screening, and certainly submit to the record that we will maintain that existing screening. I understand the applicant has spoken to the neighbor a lot too, who had no objection. I do not have it in writing. It was relayed to me from the applicant that they had no objection, and we still were able to increase the relief. And this modification also does slightly reduce the rear yard lot coverage relief by about 50 feet. While nominal, it is a reduction in the relief that originally came before you for.
What is that relief now?
It is now 22.19 feet. I was at 22.39 feet. It's 49. It's very nominal, but it's still, I was able to slightly reduce it by the relocation of the tennis court. The applicant currently has a building permit pending for this house. It's a prefabricated house, so we're kind of constrained as to the configuration of the house. We can't really change the footprint of the house. It's already actually in production overseas. So we are kind of constrained in this location, and that's.
And that's it. And I appreciate the fact, Brian, that you and the applicants have made these changes. I just want to find out whether members of the board are satisfied. I mean, it's a modest change, but it's change.
Yeah, I agree. It is modest, but it's, we wholeheartedly took your comments and, to the extent we could, we did address them and incorporated them into our plan.
Brian, is there vegetative screening on the side with lot 2?
There is vegetation. We don't plan to disturb beyond the tennis court, but again, we have no issues with screening the court. It's a sunken tennis court. So in that and of itself, it will be, lowered, but
So you have no issues screening the court?
no issues with screening the court. I believe there is some existing tree line. I don't know whether it's on our property or the neighbors, but there currently is some mature screening on this property line. And we're happy to make the same condition that will maintain existing screening to the extent it exists.
And if it doesn't exist?
We can propose adequate screening.
Okay.
And that'll be a condition in the decision.
Yeah.
Brian, the prefab house.
Yes.
On the survey, it shows its location, so.
Yep.
It's what's the constraint on that? Is
I
it
mean,
because-
we're at the maximum front yard setback.
Okay, so it's the
alternative
front
would be-
yard setback.
Correct.
Okay.
And with the arc of the curve on Rose Way, it's kind of constrained in its center point.
Okay.
But that's, again, we tried to keep the relief only to the tennis court in the rear yard. It's a common amenity in this neighborhood. It's adjoining a tennis court. It's nothing that'll be visible from the street. So.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Is there anyone who is waiting to be heard this evening in connection with the application of 81 Roseway LLC? This is for property located at 81 Roseway in Bridgehampton. If you're waiting to be heard on Zoom, this will be the time to let us know by raising your hand.
No hands, Adam.
Okay. All right, if not, Susan, it is yours.
I propose that we close the public hearing and leave it open for written comments by January 7th with a decision on January 20th.
Second.
And in my submission of the revised survey, I'll make sure I again address Marjorie's comments, which were clearly delineating the rear yard, just so there's
right
a clear distinction addressing Marjorie's original comment. It's not on the survey I just showed you, but I'll have it added.
Very good. Thank you.
Could they also add whatever you want to propose for the screening, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I can propose a row of arborvitae, something on that property line, not a problem.
Okay. Good.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly. Oh, Mr. Kelly recused himself. I'm sorry, Mr. Daly.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you so much. Have a good holiday.
Thank you. You as well. I appreciate your time as always.
You're welcome. Take care.
Okay, next and final item on the main agenda is clarification request for item number 12, 720 North Sea Road LLC, 720 North Road North Sea, tax map 900, 132, lot 11. Do I need to read this if it's a clarification?
Candace, did they
Yes.
submit anything for this?
No, they didn't have to post the mail or anything.
Okay, so nope, just read that address in the tax map.
Okay, so we're good.
All right, so we should have maybe Lori Wiltshire.
No, she's not here.
Anybody from her firm?
Only Dan Montero. Oh, here she is. She's just coming on now.
Okay.
Wow, timing.
Perfect.
Good evening, Lori.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just have to swear you in. You can state your name and address for the record, please.
Absolutely. It's Lori Wiltshire, Land Planning Services, 231 Pantego Road in East Hampton.
And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you can tell us about this clarification request.
Yes, boy, I didn't realize all of these others were adjourned. Give me 1 second to get to the right stack of paper. Holy cow, that came up really fast.
We can give you to January 3rd.
No. I have it right here. I was all organized and then I was working on other stuff and it was like, what? You're calling me now? Okay, here we go. So when we did the original approval on Dario's landscaping, we basically, there's a condition in the approval. Well, let me start with this. They received a violation. They had been parking trucks and parking landscaping vehicles and also doing outdoor storage, which was a no-no at the property. They got a violation from Ryan White in code enforcement or the fire marshal's office. And they cleared up the mess. And then Ryan and I had talked and I told him it's all cleared up, go look at it. And he goes, you know, this needs to be cleared up a little bit because the parking of trucks and landscaping vehicles should not be prohibited because there's a parking lot with 19 spaces that was approved by the planning board for a landscaping business. So although no outdoor storage should be permitted, there should be a clarification to the language that now says the storage of trucks, landscaping vehicles, mulch or landscaping materials is prohibited on the premises. Clearly, parking of trucks and landscaping vehicles would be permitted, but not storage. And that's actually a question that was raised by Robin at the planning board today on this same matter. She wants to know what's the difference between storage and parking. How long can a vehicle be parked before it's considered storage? So Anthony is supposed to go to code enforcement and look into their property maintenance code to see if there are definitions of these two things. And then we'll go back to planning to obviously, they wanted to put some additional buffering to make sure nothing gets deposited on the areas that are in the setbacks and then only the parking spaces are used. But we're just looking for a clarification of the word storage with regards to trucks and landscaping vehicles.
Good thing we have Mr. Trezor here.
Yeah,
That's good.
really.
So we discussed this with the planning board today. When we did the original site plan approval, obviously we're trying to be mindful that it's a non-conforming use in the residential zone adjacent to residential properties. And so we don't want the storage of materials and mulch and other sorts of equipment. With landscaping trucks, I think the planning board, with the clarification, and as I said to the planning board today, that they would probably be inclined with some parameters, I guess, to have some, how many trucks are being, parked on the site overnight, and that kind of information. And the planning board would probably be inclined on their side to allow it either through some type of site plan modification or a clarification on our side with the resolution. They would still hold to the no outdoor storage of materials, but they probably would be inclined to let the trucks be parked there, as it is a landscaping business. But we want to make sure they are going to ask for additional landscaping. They want to make sure that back part doesn't become a de facto storage area that was previously. So
Yeah. And I remember when we had the original public hearing on this, that we had some very concerned neighbors. And so I think one of the reasons the language is what it is and the decision was because of that. But besides the fact that, as you mentioned, that we have a business next to residences. On the other hand, the change of use was in the scheme of things, I think I believe it was a restaurant, originally a restaurant use. Yeah, from a restaurant to
it was a tavern, actually.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it's significantly less impact right from the get-go than what had been there before. But still, we want to be sensitive to the adjacent property owners being impacted in any way negatively by this. I think whatever the ZBA does just needs to be consistent with the direction that the planning board is going. So.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to the planning board after I do my research. I'm going to meet with Lori, try to define whatever it is they're looking to do there, and then obviously I'll make my recommendations accordingly. By the way, that used to be the Roadhouse. My understanding is the name of that place was called the Roadhouse many years ago.
Tavern.
Yes, it was.
But that was the planning board's position today.
What was the original determination about number of parking spaces?
Planning board required 19, and they're shown on the approved site plan.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I don't have problem with business vehicles being parked in a business's parking area overnight, but whatever, planning
Makes sense. I
board.
mean, it's kind of common sense.
Yeah.
If you have a vehicle that has tags and it's moving it daily, you're parking it and changing it,
Tags.
that's in my mind not storing it. Once you have things that don't have wheels or license plates and you have piles of stuff, that's storage.
Yeah, and I don't like
like that.
people being in the situation where they're kind of caught between a ZBA decision and code enforcement and where it's not clear now.
Yeah.
So,
Right, and
Was
just
that-
another thing to keep in mind is if they're not in that parking lot, then they're in the driveways of private residences, and how that's not an improved situation either.
No.
Many of
remember
these
that-
landscaping vehicles, though, have these very large trailers that they attach to them. So are you talking about a truck with a trailer, and then sometimes the trailer is disconnected from the truck? I mean,
So here's the deal with a company like this. One day they're on a masonry job, another day
Yeah.
they're cleaning up leaves, another day they're building a walkway, then they're planting trees. The equipment they use varies, and sometimes there is a chipper connected to a truck. The parking lot in the back is very large. It's also subgradient. It's screened and fenced. And it's those down below that would be used for the parking of trucks and landscaping vehicles. There's 6 on the side that are visible from the road that the employees use for their personal vehicles.
okay. Okay.
Good.
all right. So now my other question is where, what we want to do moving forward, which is, I'm not sure whether we want to close it for written subs, and that way, Anthony, we can get something from you and or something from the planning board, and then whatever we do would be consistent with that, versus coming back.
I like that.
Lloyd prefers not to come back. Well,
I just think we need to know from planning and code before.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then I'll forward it to the board as my comments.
Okay. Do you think that you'll be able to do that by January 7th?
No, because we have a meeting on the 13th.
I understand. Okay. So
It could be the one after that.
one after that. Okay. So why don't we make it, Keith is lead on the application. He's not here. So why don't we make it a public hearing? I would make a motion that we close the public hearings for written submissions by January 21st, which is the day after our second meeting in January.
Perfect.
And then
Yep.
it'll be on for decision on February 3rd.
Second.
Great. Fantastic.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
I'm in favor.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you for being here, Lori. Have a great holiday and
Happy holidays, everyone. Stay safe.
no problem. Take care.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think we're on to.
That was very good inter-board collaboration there,
There you go.
Anthony. Thank you.
Yep.
What I'm here for.
Okay,
Yeah, we like that.
So I have some decisions. Whenever we're ready to get started, I will start reading unless someone else wants to go first. Okay.
Let it
Oh,
rip.
yeah.
Okay, all right, so I have a decision in the matter of the application of Vincent and Maria Bruno. This is for property located at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-294-132. This application is for property located at 12 Gerald Lane, in Hampton Bays. Applicants request a front yard setback to construct an enclosed porch addition. This application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief to the applicants from Town Code 33011, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a principal front yard setback of 18 feet where 40 feet is required for a proposed enclosed porch addition to an existing dwelling, as shown on the survey prepared by John Gerd Heidecker, last revised December 1st, 2021. Granted, the foregoing relief is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next, I have a determination on the matter of the application of Sean and Heather Ward. This is for property located at tax rate number 952-111. This application is for property located at 20 Robin Drive, Bridgehampton. Applicants request a single and separate determination for a non-conforming lot. On the basis of the evidence and testimony presented at the hearing, we find that no merger occurred as a matter of law, and thus the subject premises should be treated as a separate pre-existing lot. Therefore, this board finds that the subject premises located at 20 Robin Drive, Bridgehampton, Town of Southampton, Suffolk County Tax Act number 952-111 is a single and separate 41,550 square foot lot and is thus entitled to relief pursuant to Town Code 330-115D, as shown on the survey prepared by Michael W. Minto, last updated July 19, 2021. This decision notes that all fences on the right-of-way shall be removed or relocated, and that the existing basketball court must comply with zoning or be removed.
Second.
Mr. Daly,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Ms. Kern,
Aye.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next, I have a determination on the matter of the application of Michael and Meg Calamita. This is for property located at Suffolk County Tax Act number 900-268-439. This application is for property located at 7 Westerly Court, Hampton Bays. Applicants appeal the decision of the building inspector regarding the size and use of a proposed detached garage. Here, this board finds that the proposed garage is a customary accessory structure. Despite the fact that the square footage of the garage is large in comparison to the size of the dwelling at 49%, its intended use is clearly incidental and subordinate, specifically as a garage. Therefore, this board finds that applicant's proposed detached garage is a customary accessory structure as it relates to the existing main dwelling on the subject premises, as shown in the survey prepared by Pinnacle Land Surveyors, dated March 31st, 2021, last revised December 2nd, 2021, and the plans prepared by Louis Schwartz of Tide Runner Engineering and Design, dated January 11th, 2021, received by this board on December 8th, 2021. This decision is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired and may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. And the last one I have is an amended decision for the application of Sarah Kent. This is for property located at tax map number 962-153. This amendment is for property located at 58 Waters Edge Road, North Sea. Applicant secured variances for the premises in connection with a swimming pool, 2-story addition / accessory apartment, and corner clearance, but inadvertently did not request relief for a small front deck and portico. This request passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. As such, this board grants relief to the applicant from Town Code 33011, Residential Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a proposed front yard setback of 37.1 feet where 60 feet is required for a proposed entry portico, and relief from Town Code 33083A4 to allow the proposed elevated wood deck that will be higher than 1 foot above ground to be located within the required front yard, as shown on the survey prepared by Ralph O'Heal, Meets and Bounds Surveying, dated November 24th, 2021. All other provisions and conditions of decision number D020119 shall remain in full force and effect.
Second.
Mr. DeSessa.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Ms. Kern.
Aye.
Mr. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. That's all that I have. Anybody else?
I think that's it.
I think
That's
that's
it.
all of them, Mr. Grossman.
Motion to close.
Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you,
Happy
Katie.
holidays.
Chris, Charlie.
Enjoy.
Thank
Feliz
you.
Navidad.
Stay
Happy
Sorry,
safe
we're not gonna
and healthy.
be together. Sorry, we're not gonna have